Hi everyone, it's Shannon Shy. Welcome to another installment of Q&A with Shannon about OCD recovery. Thank you everyone for the questions. Please keep them coming. All right, to today's question. Hi Shannon, my main theme is existential OCD. For a while I tried to be indifferent with all kinds of OCD thoughts. But then my mind started to ask me this kind of question. What is to be indifferent? How are you sure you are having an indifferent attitude? Sometimes I said to myself, oh, stupid thoughts, or that thought doesn't matter anyway. And then my OCD asked me, well, what is a stupid thought? How do you define what matters to you? It is a nightmare. I'm completely lost. It's like even when I tried to be indifferent, OCD found a way to bother me again. I don't know how to be indifferent because even this attitude is questionable. Anonymous. Great questions. Okay, let's start here. In your OCD recovery universe that you create, you make the rules, not OCD. You get to choose what being indifferent means to you and where you direct your indifference. For me, being indifferent is to truly not care, one way or the other. To truly not care, one way or the other. For me, I didn't care whether I had OCD or that I might have OCD thoughts at any time, any place. I didn't care that OCD thoughts might be with me for the rest of my life. I didn't care that I had anxiety or uncertainty at any given moment. And more specifically, in the moment, I didn't care that any particular thought was in my mind, no matter how disgusting or disturbing. I truly didn't care. They could be there. OCD was relentless, of course. It tried to tell me that my anxiety itself was evidence, that it meant that I did care. OCD tried to tell me that if I didn't care, that it meant that I liked or wanted the thoughts, or that I truly was the monster the thoughts described me as. But I was more relentless than OCD. I didn't care if those thoughts were there either. I had a little rule of thumb called the fruit of the poisonous tree. I won't talk about what fruit of the poisonous tree and where that came from, other than to say that if I treated the original thought as coming from OCD, all follow on related thoughts were tagged as coming from OCD, right? That's coming from OCD. Well, that too, that too. Not caring about the thoughts, but like being indifferent lessens the tension between you and OCD about the thought, and it helps you to deprive the disorder of what it craves, right? What do I mean by reducing tension? It's much like playing the game of tug of war, right? People are pulling against you, you're pulling back, going back and forth. You drop the rope. You're not participating anymore. There's no tension. This works regardless of the technique that you use to deal with the thoughts. What do I mean by technique? Well, my theory then, and I believe it to be true now, is that OCD thoughts were false narratives. I gave them zero value. Some therapists teach people to say, hey, just assume it's true. Assume that all the thoughts are true, but don't respond to them. Other therapists will say, well, just tell yourself maybe it's true, maybe it's not, but don't respond. The thread that ties all of those techniques together in dealing with the thought is indifference. And they all tell you don't respond to that thought. Why do I believe therapists can feel comfortable telling people, hey, don't respond to that thought, even if it's true, even if you think it's true? Well, my opinion is that the therapists know you have OCD, right? They know there's a reason why these thoughts are there that have nothing to do with fact or truth. Indifference is the key. It was the epiphany of my recovery. And when OCD tries to tell you, well, you can't be indifferent because you don't know what indifference means, you don't know what stupid means, all of that, fruit of the poisonous tree. You don't have to take the bait. You can say, I'll let those thoughts be here. I don't care if they're here or not. You can remain one level above OCD at all times. You don't have to give value. You can be indifferent to the presence of the thoughts, no matter what those thoughts are, and you don't have to respond. You make the rules. Live by your rules, not OCD's. I hope you found this helpful.